Hey there VC, Steve Whitty here. It's time for another video. I had got a video planned for this week, but because it's been such hot weather, I just haven't feel that inclined to want to plan and do anything. So I've woken up this morning, Sunday the 12th of July, thinking, well, what should I do? I'll just show you 10 records that I've played during the past week. So without much further ado, I'll quickly go through them. So I've been listening to Allman Brothers Eat a Peach. This is a studio stroke live album, came out 72 I believe, 71 or 72. It's the first release after Duane Allman's motorcycle accident, and this is a tribute to him. Hence why I think there's some of the live side of it sort of showcases talent. This was a bigger album in America. I think it got top 10. It's a wonderful album, wonderful listen. I picked this up about a couple of years ago, so I was really happy to be able to listen to this. Now, it was a good Sunday afternoon listen. Next up, this is Kevin Ayers, and this is his Confessions of Dr. Dream and Other Stories. This is his first album he released for Island Records. He'd been previously recording for Harvest. Kevin Ayers was, what can I say, he was sort of typical English artist. He's formerly of Soft Machine. In the 70s, he was very prolific with a number of albums he issued. Sort of dropped off a little bit. Sort of made a comeback in the 2000s, I think, and then he passed away. This is a wonderful sounding record. There's some great songs on side one, and there's sort of side two, sort of. Sort of side two, sort of like almost like the concept of this on The Confession of Dr. Dream. It falls into 4 parts and then goes into final bit 2 into 4, which is a sort of acoustic arrangements. But wonderful sounding record. You're gonna have to forgive my throat a little bit. We were, as probably everyone knows, England played last night and went into extra time. I didn't watch it, I was listening to it on the radio and sort of shouting shouting my frustrations at the radio. I woke up this morning and my throat's feeling a little bit, I can say, a little bit ropey. And I've also realised I've got a fan on, so I best turn that off. So apologies if you pick the noise up on there. I listened to Blondie's Eat the Beat. This was their 4th studio album, the follow-up to Parallel Lines, and it's one of those, how do you follow up something as successful as Parallel Lines? This is not a bad attempt. Again, produced by Mike Chapman, so they sort of kept the formula going. Album opens up with Dreaming, which was number 2 single at the time. You got The Hardest Part, Union City Blue, which is probably my favourite track off the album, which Debbie Harry co-wrote with Nigel Harrison. Shyla, Eats the Beat, Accidents Never Happen, Die Young, Stay Pretty, Slow Motion, Atomic, which was the number 1 hit single in the UK, Sound Asleep, Victor, and Living in the Real World. As I said, it was never going to be a patch on Parallel Lines, but it wasn't, as I say, not a bad attempt, and it's, I think a half decent album. There you go. There's all the band members on there. On to more like LA punk. This is the Dickies and their debut album, The Incredible Shrinking Dickies. Now this variation here is the yellow vinyl edition. It was released in several different colours. I think blue was one of them as well. This has a lot of covers. They did a lot of covers, and on there is Paranoid, which was quite controversial when it came out, because not so much that they did it, but they flipped the verses round on it. If you ever listen to the Dickies version of it, and they do Evil Destruction on there. Who else? What else? Yeah, and this doesn't have their hit single. The biggest hit single's their version of the theme from Banana Splits, and they're just sort of like, at the 79, it was sort of like a punk parody band. Dawn and the Dickies was the follow-up album. I think they did their version of Knights of White Satin. But it's a fun record to listen to, so I was pleased to give it a chance to listen to that. Sort of changing tack slightly, I listened to Donovan's, and forgive me if I hash this up. What's Been Did and What's Been Hid. This is his debut album, but this is a Marble Arch reissue. Marble Arch were a reissue label, which that had plenty, did a lot with the Kinks, did a lot of 60s, 70s stuff. I mean, even doing some American Psych as well. Some of their pressings are actually quite valuable. This one isn't though. And as I said, this is the reissue of the debut album, and you've got on here Josie, Catch the Wind, Yalamo, Cutting Out, Keep on Trucking, Gold Watch Blues, To Sing for You, You're Gonna Need Someone on Your Bond, Tangerine Puppet, Rambling Boy. This, when Donovan first came out, the comparison to Dylan was quite obvious. Wore the hat, the guitar. He had on his guitar this guitar Machine Kills on it. I think sort of I've forgotten the guy's name. Woody Guthrie's guitar, and yes, and I say on the back here you got some of the stuff that Marble Arch did as well. So there you go. Giles and Fripp. This is the reissue of their only album, The Cheerful Insanity of Giles and Fripp. As it said, it's the two Giles brothers, Michael and Peter, and Robert Fripp. This is an album they put together before King Crimson, and as it says, the title says Cheerful Insanity. It's very English, very whimsical in some ways, totally different to what happens with King Crimson. And yeah, this sort of came out in '68. A lot of the songs were done prior to that. On the back, the record, it does give the date of the composition. It sort of disappeared after a while, and obviously everyone turned up again in King Crimson. No, it's one of those. I suggest you listen to Stream 2 first if you ever decide to buy a copy. You do get to listen to all out classics, and this is one of them. So this is Carole King's Tapestry. This sold gazillions. I mean, I showed a couple of videos ago a couple of the later albums, but this is the one that sort of broke through, seen as a sort of a feminist anthem. Carole King had moved on from her first marriage, and the songs sort of reflect that. It's Too Late. You've Got a Friend, and Beautiful, Tapestry, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. It was picked up on, and it sold gazillions. It was sort of a sort of liberating album. It was a liberating album for King, and I think a lot of people picked up on that sense of liberation, which made it such a big seller at the time. She recently, a couple of years ago, performed Tapestry at Hull at a concert in Hyde Park, which went down very well. Turning up a notch, this is Lynyrd Skynyrd's second helping. As the title says, the second album. The best known track is the opening track, Sweet Home Alabama. We all know the story. It's a sort of a riposte to Neil Young. Great record. Needle and Spoons on here, working for the MCA. This particular copy is a Fame reissue, which came out I think, 82. Original album came out in 74. And yeah, wonderful record. It sounds okay. If I see an original, yeah, I'll pick that up. Okay, moving on to something different. This is John Martyn, and this is his Inside Out album. Came out 73. A period of about 5 albums that John Martyn, he sounded innovative. Innovative, that's the word I was trying to find. And you know, it's only really great. This is quite considered to be more his experimental album. A lot of jazz overtones in here, and absolutely wonderful. It featured Danny Thompson on bass. Steve Winwood's on here as well. Yeah, wonderful record. And it's golden period which he had with Island Records. That's a reissue as well. This is not original pressing. It's the sort of rainbow coloured label. And finally, I listened to this, and this took me back. The Mission Children, their second album, released in 88. It was produced by John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, and absolutely wonderful. This is their pinnacle album. I was lucky to see this band on tour twice during 88. The Hummingbird, Dale End, Birmingham, and the NEC. And if ever a band was not suited to an arena gig, it was them. You could see that Wayne Hussey was a little bit overwhelmed by the size of the venue. It was totally different to what the band had been used to. The album itself opens up with Beyond the Pale. You got A Wing and a Prayer, Heaven on Earth, Tower of Strength, which was the big hit single off the album. Great video to it as well. Kingdom Come, Breathe, Child's Play, Samurai, Black Mountain Mist, Heat, and then Hymn for America. Great closer to the album. This is one of the albums where you've got the vinyl record is considerably shorter than the CD version. And all the CD version did was they added a track, the B-side from Tower of Strength, Fabian, onto the album. Great album, great listen. There you go, VC. Now, hopefully, the weather will cool down a little bit more so I can actually sit and plan and do some proper recording and think of doing a proper video, so to speak. Yeah, last night, England played, as I said, and we won. We're in the semi-finals. However, it does put me into a bit of a moral dilemma because in the work sweep, I've chosen Argentina. Now, do I do my patriotic duty and cheer England on, or do I think of financial gain, because the prize is £50, or do I do both? Tell me what you think. Anywho, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, thumbs up, thumbs down. Feel free to leave a comment. Love the interaction. And whatever you get up to this week, VC, I hope it's a good one. You can stay cool. So whatever you do, keep spinning. More importantly, keep on smiling.